Welcome all. Very good morning. Well, participants are getting in. I think your design lecture is over right now, right? Yes. So welcome to this lecture of Product Design Engineering Part 2. We will wait for 2-3 minutes so that everyone will get joined, get admitted to this platform. And what we will do till then, uh, can anyone share me feedback about voice quality? Are you getting my voice clearly? Is there any disturbance? You can unmute yourself and or you can just send me a message. Both are good. Okay, fine. Voice is clear. It's not clear. Okay. Uh, what about others? One of the students is not getting the voice clear. Okay. I think Yoginath, okay. Uh, Voices, everything is good, clear, fine. So I think Shrutika, you just refresh your system because everyone is getting the voice clearly. It could be a network issue at your site, okay. So better if you change your position or make a refresh to your system. I think it's almost 5 minutes gone and most of you have joined. So let us start with the lecture. Well, this is, as you know, this is our third lecture in product design engineering. In previous lecture, I have given one task to you regarding drawing of various objects like a chair, a shoe, animated character, right? So the aim behind that was to make you aware of your sketching abilities. Now it's clear. Okay, fine, no issue. Now the aim or objective behind that task was only to identify yourself with your skills of drawing sketching, because as a mechanical engineer or as a sorry as a mechanical engineer or as a design engineer or as a product design engineer, you must be aware of or you must have some skills of sketching, because in industry whenever you are going to work as a product design engineer or a design engineer or a product engineer or in research and development, you need to have these skills to communicate your ideas to your superiors, to your colleagues, to your boss, everybody. Okay. So if you don't have these skills, I mean, up to that mark, or I don't expect you to have very high skills of drawing. I just expect that whatever the thing or whatever the concept you want to demonstrate or to communicate with your subordinate or colleague or boss, you should able to communicate effectively. That is the only requirement. It is not like that how much shading you do, how beautiful you draw or anything like that. Okay. So only thing is that you should draw in such a manner that the idea or the concept is get communicated with the person you want to communicate. Okay. So Most of you have done very beautifully drawn it, and some of you have not drawn till, not sent the drawings to me. So those who haven't sent me, please send it to me if you get time. I think it will take hardly half an hour from your daily routine to draw these products. Okay. So what do I suggest? I have shared some videos, links of design drawings. You go through that, and whichever the product you want to draw or you like, you go for that. Okay. Because some of you have drawn the chair, some of you have drawn the shoes, some of you gone for other things, that helmet, motorcycle, car. Okay, it is up to you what drawing or what type of design you like. I think none of you, those who have submitted the drawings, none of them have submitted the drawing about fashion designing and also animation designing. Okay, so I think it is clear that we are not going into that domain because you don't like it. So whatever you like, I will go for that. Okay, so most of you have gone for automobile product design, that is industrial design, you can call it as. Automobile design is considered as car design, vehicle design, and interior of the automobile. So we will go through that. Okay, now we need to start the syllabus because it's a third lecture, and we should go for particularly the contents in the syllabus. We have discussed the syllabus already, what are the contents we have. So let me share the screen with you with the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Okay, now can any one of you send me a message if it is visible to you? You can send it in the chat box. Yes, okay. Is it visible? Yes, it is visible. Okay. Okay, so let us start with our unit number 1, that is testing and evaluation. In that, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about design, prototyping, and construction. Okay. So what is a prototype? Let us discuss from the beginning. What is a prototype? We are going to discuss why it is needed to make a prototype. There are different types of prototyping techniques are there, which is called as low fidelity and high fidelity. We will be discussing in later parts. So let us start with what is a prototype. Okay. So according to the definition, a prototype is a one manifestation of a design that allows stakeholders to interact with it and to explore its suitability. Okay, so this is the definition. Now, if you go in detail in this definition, what they are trying to say, what the design of prototype means, it is a manifestation of a design. Okay, so you know all the steps followed for a designing procedure, right? In engineering design or machine design, you might have gone through it. Those who have came from the background of polytechnic, they might be knowing of this particular thing of steps followed in a design process. Okay, now that is the engineering design, and we are talking about product design. Okay, it is different. Engineering design is a part of product design, as we have discussed in PDE 1, that is product design engineering part 1. I have already told you how design is a concept or whole concept. In that, different types of designs have been added, like automobile design, engineering design, textile design, user interaction design. Okay, so these are different types of designs which are considered in the scenario of total design. Okay, So while we are considering a product design, we should know what is a prototype means. So prototype is a manifestation. Manifestation means whatever the idea you have in your mind, in your brain, what is the concept you have, that is physically making available. We are making our idea available, or making or creating our idea in physical form. Okay, that is called as manifestation of a design. Now what happen after that? Once we have a concept in our mind, then we go for its physical manifestation. Okay, then what does it do? It allows stakeholders. Now don't go for stakeholders. For this instant, consider it as a customer. Okay, that allows customers to interact with it and to explore its suitability. So what does this definition tells us? Two parts are there. The concept is there. We are manifesting the manifestation of the concept is taking place in the physical form, and we are allowing a person or a customer or a stakeholder to interact with it, okay, to use it such that he or she can explore its suitability. Suitability to what? To their requirements. Whether their requirements are getting fulfilled, that we are going to check, particularly by using the prototype. So all of you got the definition. What is a prototype? Let me read it once again. A prototype is one type of manifestation, or you can call it as a physical manifestation of a design, that allows stakeholders to interact with it and explore its suitability to their requirements. Got it? Okay, so this is the definition of prototype. Now the prototype is limited. It is limited. Okay, what does this mean? A prototype emphasizes one set of product characteristics and de-emphasizes others. So what I told you in the definition, there are requirements of customers, there are requirements of stakeholders. They are going to see whether that product or that prototype is suitable to their requirements. Okay, now there are certain things that we must consider. Sometimes it may happen that your prototype or your concept will not be suitable or will not satisfy their all requirements. Okay, let us suppose they have 10 requirements from a product. Okay, let us take an example of a mobile phone. Okay, a mobile phone customer has different requirements, like he wants very high speed of internet, he wants very high processing power, he wants very good camera quality, he want the screen size to be a sometimes it could be a big, sometimes some people want a lesser size, smaller size. Okay, so these type of requirements will be there. So what will be the person or the customer will do? He will go to the store, or sometimes he will go to online shops or online websites where e-commerce websites are there. On that there are product specifications are given. So he will see if this product, a particular product, is going to satisfy his needs. And the ultimate task or the ultimate thing or the concept we must consider is the cost. Because as far as our country is concerned, the product which are cost effective, those are sold in high amount. Those get sold in high amount. So this is the scenario in our country. Okay, there are some products like Apple phones. There are some customers, but which is very limited customer. The size of that market is very limited. Okay, so as a product design engineer or as an engineer, you must be working or you must know this philosophy of our culture or our market in our country at least, that cost effectiveness is of very much importance. Okay, so the prototype may or may not satisfy the requirements of the customers. This is what it is saying. Okay, now see, if you can see this diagram to the right hand side of your screen, it is a gear and something complex diagram has been shown. Okay, now, what does this tell to us? In design fields, a prototype is a small scale model, like a miniature car. Suppose automobile industry is there and they can make a prototype of a miniature car. Okay. Suppose civil engineering and architects are there. What will they do? They will have a miniature building or a town or a area. Okay. Now, this particular thing is a prototype for a design engineer, and this has been done or created with the help of 3D printer. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now, what it is to be considered in the next step, that after this definition of prototype, we have got to know that prototype is, sometimes it may satisfy the customer or the stakeholder, sometimes it may not. Okay, so actually the use of prototype is different for different industries. Like in an automobile industry, a miniature car or a small model of car will be created. In civil engineering, they will create a building or a town planning, something like that. Okay. So for that reason, nowadays we can use 3D printing or prototyping. They are also called as rapid prototyping technologies. Earlier, it was very difficult to create a car or a miniature building or something like that. But now it is very, very easy. So that what happened, due to this, the prototyping cost, because there will be cost associated with prototyping also. Why? Because you are involved or you are involving some people in that. You are involving resources, you are involving time of your people, right? So these all three things will have some value, and that value will be considered as a cost of prototype. So nowadays the prototyping cost has been reduced drastically as compared to the earlier days. Okay, so this is a concept of a prototype. Okay, now let's move why we need a prototype. As we have discussed in the definition, to satisfy the needs of customer, we are going to provide a product. Okay, what we can do, suppose a person is there who is starting an industry, a new industry. He has developed one product. Okay, and he want to sell that product. Now, at the development stage, he might have gone through various steps, as in done with the engineering design. But when at the end of that process, when he or she will get to know that this particular product will satisfy the customers or not, he has to make a prototype and test it and take the feedback. Okay, according to that, what will happen? He will get the feedback, and sometimes he may get a good feedback, sometimes he may bad feedback. So what does this mean? It means that With good feedback, it is concluded that the prototype that we are providing or the person providing has a good value, and we can just go with it. Okay, but if sometimes we don't get a good feedback or positive feedback, then we must evaluate or re-evaluate the process or the prototype or the designing process. Okay, so this is important to make a product successful. Okay, now let us discuss why prototyping is needed. As just we have discussed, evaluation and feedback are central to design. Evaluation of your product and feedback from the customers are, now one thing I should must mention here, while making a prototype, you are not making this on a large scale. Okay, you are making some samples out of it, and that samples are provided to the some randomly chosen customers, or the customers which are considered as a test customers. Okay, um, uh, one example I would like to share, if you remember, if you have visited DMart in our city, at the entrance gate of that DMart, some products like food, coffee, ketchup, like that product samples are available, which are free of cost. So what happens? There is a table. They will provide you a coffee or a tea or whatever the product they have. You drink it, you consume it, and you give us your feedback. You say it is good, it is bad, it is not, whatever it is. Okay. So according to that, what do they get? They get the feedback of a real-time customer. This is how they will get the feedback. Okay. So there are certain methods, scientific methods are there to take a feedback from a set of customers or set of persons. Okay, so basically the feedback and evaluation and re-evaluation process is central to design to make your product successful. Okay, now what happens with the prototype? Stakeholders can see, they can see physically, they can see it, they can hold it in hand, they can interact with the prototype, okay, more easily than a document or a drawing. Okay, instead of giving a drawing of a particular product or a design on a screen, if you providing a physical prototype, they will interact with it and they will provide a good feedback of their choices. Okay. Then with the help of prototyping, team members can communicate effectively. Okay, now not only customers or stakeholders, one of the stakeholders in the design is also a designer and his team. Okay, suppose it will not happen like you only person will work on a design of a product. Okay, there will be a team. It could be a 2-person, 3-person team. Sorry, but there will be definitely a team. Okay, team members will be there. So at the start of this lecture I just told that you have a concept, and if you are going to communicate your concept through sketches, they will understand. Okay, now if you communicate your idea or concept through product, physical product, this is how it is going to look. Okay, then what will happen? The communication between the team members will be very effective. Okay, and another thing is you can test out your ideas yourself. Now most of the time there will be team members, there will be large groups involved in a design or research of that particular product, but whenever there is a startup like concepts, these startups are being getting evolved regularly from previous few years, and it will be very what do you say, very big concept or very big amount of startups will evolve now hereafter. from this year onwards, because many of the industries or jobs are getting affected due to this pandemic situation. So by choice or by other things, people are moving towards the startup. So in startup, usually they don't have a bigger team. Sometimes a single person will do a startup, all the things he will be addressing. So in that case, you can test yourself the ideas of your product with the help of prototype. Then prototypes will answer questions. It will support designers in choosing between the alternatives. Alternatives, what we can call it as, it is called as optimization. We have discussed this in PDE 1. I think you remember this. Choosing between the best alternatives, choosing the best among the alternatives is to be done. Then prototype, physical prototype will help the designers. Okay, so these are the needs of prototyping. Now, this is the type of prototyping which is called as, there are two types: low fidelity prototyping and high fidelity prototyping. Okay, now what is low fidelity prototyping? Low fidelity prototyping uses a medium which is unlike the final medium, for example, paper or cardboard. It is quick, cheap, and easily changed. Okay, the examples are sketches of screens, task sequences, or anything you can have. Okay, now low fidelity prototype means it is a prototype which uses a medium or a material, rather, or a material which is not as the final material we are going to use in the final product. Suppose we have a car, we are going to make a car, and if you are going to make a car in large scale, obviously you will go for metals, right? It will not be made up of paper or cardboard. But the prototype of a car can be made through a paper or a cardboard or a plastic or clay material. Okay, designers in automobile design, clay material is used usually for prototyping. Okay, so the low fidelity prototype means it is a prototype where the medium or the material used for the this prototyping is different than the final material. And how they are, the low fidelity prototyping is very quick, it is cheap in cost, and it can be easily changed. If you are using a paper or a cardboard or a clay, you can change it, you can easily just dismantle it or rough it and use another paper or another cardboard, so it will be a cheap and it is quick. Okay, so these are the low fidelity type of prototype. Now, high fidelity prototyping. What is high fidelity prototyping? It uses materials that you would expect to be in the final product. In low fidelity, what was the condition? We are not using the materials that would be used in the final product. But in high fidelity prototyping, we are going to use the kind of materials that we are going to use in the final product would be used in prototyping. Now, in this type of prototyping, the prototype looks more like the final prototype or a final product. Okay. In low fidelity version, it will not be, sometimes it may be like a final system, but sometimes the larger of the times, it will not be a final version, because we are just roughly making a product in that type of prototype. Then high fidelity prototypes can be developed by integrating existing hardware and software components. Okay, this is a very interesting one. Sorry, I think the time is remaining, only 10 minutes are remaining. Okay, fine. So where were we were? Okay. So high fidelity prototypes can be developed by integrating existing hardware and software components. So what does this mean? This means that if you are an industry, you can use your existing hardware and software components in high fidelity prototypes. In low fidelity prototypes, that is not possible. And another thing is that there is a danger that user think they have a complete system. Now you are using a material which is used in a final product. You are using existing hardware system and software components in that system. So the customer or the person who is uh, evaluating that particular product will think that this is the total final product. But it is not a final product, it is high fidelity prototyping, which is near to the final product. So there is a danger that user may think that this is the complete system and no change will be occurred after this particular product or process. So this is a danger in that. So this is high fidelity prototyping. Okay. So this is what we have discussed today. Let us take a quick brief review. We have seen what is a prototype, uh, where it is used, why it is used, types of prototype, low fidelity, high fidelity. Okay, so this is it. So let us now see, can anyone give me a feedback about the technical issue or anything you want to know? Is there any question if you want to ask? Anything you want to ask, anything you want to share? Okay, no issue. So I will be sharing this particular PPT on the Google Classroom. I will share also the videos that we have shared already. There are certain other NPTEL videos are there which are very interesting, and I will share on the Google Classroom. I will provide the password also. So be prepared, and if you have any question or any difficulty, just give me a message or you can call me at any time. We will be solving that particular thing. Okay. So shall we end the lecture now? Okay, fine. We will end the lecture. Okay. Bye. Take care.